Reporting from the Tor Nation Productions Worldwide Headquarters at Ball High School in Galveston, Texas, I'm Rachel Dillon. And welcome to Tor Report. As always, we have a lot of information to share with you. Recently, a team of students submitted a short film to the UIL Film Festival competition. Here's a sneak peek. Later in this episode, Calvin Brown will talk more about the movie, and we will premiere the actual film at the end of the show. In the meantime, there's a lot of exciting things going on in the Tor sports world, in particular basketball. Isaiah recently sat down with Coach Temple and had a conversation.
I'm your host, Isaiah Courtney, and my guest today is...
Coach Temple.
Oh, nice to meet you, Temple. Thank you for coming on the show.
Nice to be here.
I know that you're the coach for the varsity team for our boys basketball.
Yes.
Yes, and y'all are 6-0.
We're 6-0 in district right now.
So, when's the last time something like that's happened?
It's been a minute. You know, back when I guess Teran Petaway and Mike Evans was here, that group. So it's been a minute since we've been 6-0. We've had some good teams, but since we've been undefeated this late in the district, it's been about that time.
Yeah, I know my brother, he's on varsity. That's all he talks about now is just being 6-0. So that's something like it's big. It's big. Like they love being undefeated. And how do you go into games knowing that you have this record?
Well, honestly, we just go in and approach it like any other game. Just try to do what we're supposed to do. Try to concentrate on our efforts and our responsibilities, and line up and shake hands at the end of the day. We've just been fortunate to get some few victories in a row.
And I know that y'all do a lot, and there's a lot of grind that goes into being a good team and chemistry and all that. So what's something y'all do that not the fans don't see, but that's really detrimental in your team?
Well, we just try to do a lot of things that bond us together. At the end of each practice, just kind of make sure we meet and talk about what we did well, what we need to work on, and we always close out with our saying, together we stand, divided we fall, all for one and all for ball. And so we always end on that note.
And as a coach and as someone who has seen the way that, different people play, what do you think your team is doing different than past teams that you've coached?
Well, I think this team just really is a concentrated effort on defense. They just really play hard. They try to cover all the responsibilities, and they just really support each other. When they're not in the game, they're on the bench. They do a good job supporting each other.
That's something. Chemistry. That's one of the main things I know. I don't play basketball, but that's like something big that
Absolutely.
People love. So my last question that I'll bog you down with: what's your favorite thing about basketball? The whole topic, what's your favorite thing? And it doesn't even have to be about being a coach, just your favorite thing.
There's just so many parts of the game that you can't predict. It's such a reactionary game. And so we just try to teach the kids what to do in different situations. And the more you play, the better you get at it. So it's just one of those, that's why it's so fun to watch. It's so interesting. And most people know that March Madness is a great time of the year because it's the kind of game that anybody can win at any time.
Oh, well, Purple Rain is coming up, the big week for basketball, so stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for being on Tornado Spotlight. It was a pleasure having you.
But I'd be remiss if I don't at least mention that our girls are doing so well too. Right now they're 5-2 in district, and
wow.
Absolutely, they're at the top of the district, at least competing at the top, and so definitely want to give them a shout out.
And who's the coach for that?
Coach King.
Coach King.
Coach King.
We may see a new person on here.
We need to get her in.
Yes.
They're doing a great job.
Can you guess this mystery senior?
No, get this.
Okay, you got it. Now put it on. Stick your head in there.
Have you listened to K-Tor the Tornado lately? Josh and Malu have a new morning show called Josh and Malu in the Morning. The fun starts at 7:40 Monday through Friday. You can catch the show at ktorthetornado.com or download the KTOR app from your iPhone or Android. One interesting feature played during their show is Earth Date. Here's an actual audio from the recent broadcast edited with video by Raviana and James.
From the Bureau of Economic Geology, this is Earth Date. 99.9% of all known species that have ever existed on Earth are gone, extinct. Most of them disappeared in 5 great extinction events. The first 2 happened several hundred million years ago. One was caused by a major ice age, the other by falling oxygen levels in the world's oceans. The next big extinction, 250 million years ago, is called the Great Dying, because 96% of living species were wiped out. This one, and the one that followed at 200 million years, seem to have been triggered by a hotter climate. There are many theories about what caused them, including meteorites, major lava flows, and other climate events, probably some of each. One thing is consistent: dying species left empty environmental niches, which surviving species could then evolve to fill. In this way, those 2 extinctions allowed dinosaurs to dominate the Earth. Their rule lasted 200 million years, until volcanic activity started their decline. Then, around 65 million years ago, an asteroid famously hit Earth. Ash darkened the skies and plunged the Earth into global winter, triggering the last great extinction. Dinosaurs died off, and small animals with warm blood had a huge advantage. This gave rise to the age of mammals, and some of them, millions of years later, became you and me. In this way, each extinction made it possible for new and often more advanced life forms to replace the old ones. Without that asteroid, we wouldn't be here. I'm Scott Tinker, and this has been Earth Date.
Earth Date is produced by the Bureau of Economic Geology at the University of Texas at Austin. Earth Date is researched by Julie Hennings, written by Harry Lynch, and distributed by Mark Blunt and Casey Walker. For more stories, follow us on Facebook or visit earthdate.org.
Have you visited the Fab Lab lately? Here's a short promo produced by the Fab Lab and followed by an interview with the Fab Lab's director, Kevin Anthony.
What's Fab Lab? I know that you're the founder, creator, or host of it.
Right.
So what can you tell me about that?
Okay, so the Fab Lab has been at Ball High for 2 years. Fab Lab stands for Fabrication Lab. It's a makerspace. It's funded by a grant from UTMB. And with that grant, we were able to get all the equipment in a makerspace needs. So we have a laser cutter, engraver, 3D printers, 3D scanners, everything to do electronics. We have saws, we have sanders, a little small wood shop. And in there, I help students work on projects that are related to their curriculum. So we've done things it's not just for STEM students or just for biomed students, it's for every faculty member and every student at Ball High. So you can come in there and work on stuff that's related to your curriculum with your teacher's permission. And we've done things like cut out large letters for production play. We just finished with Mrs. Brown for the theatrical production of Shrek. We created a Pinocchio nose that extends. That was done with 3D printing. For JROTC, we've made name tags on the laser engraver. For the medical side of things or science things, we've made models of hearts and brains. And frogs to dissect and things. Those are all 3D printed. So it's really an open maker space. You can come in and just create whatever you happen to think of. And I'm the coordinator. I'm there to make sure that everything's safe, and there you can to assist students.
So this isn't just for how a lot of people think just STEM kids. This
No.
is for everyone who wants to do
Right.
this and wants to
Right.
show off their creative side.
Right. Yeah.
So that's, I mean, if you want to be creative and just create
Right.
something that's for a project or just something that will be better with technology.
Right.
With the help of technology.
Right.
the Fab
And
Lab.
there's never been a time than now. This is really an incredible time. I'm talking about as far as like time now, because we have all the tools. If you can think of something, if you can sketch it out, you can create it in the Fab Lab. You could cut that out of metal, or cut that out of wood, or create that piece in 3D. I mean, whatever you happen to think of. Whereas before you would have to go through a whole production process, but you can actually go from concept, what you have, to a prototype within an hour, basically. And that could include anything. It's really never in our history we've ever been able to do that before. It's a really exciting time to be able to have those tools.
We're a really fortunate school
Right.
to have something like this.
Yeah.
It's really amazing with the things that we
Right.
can do, and especially with your expertise and to help guide the students,
Yeah.
through all of it. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of stuff you see around the campus too. The signs for the communities, they're laser cut from the acrylic. Those are all student driven projects.
I've seen those above the
Right.
some of the
There's one for
doors
STEM
all
and
that.
biomed, and the gear for I&E. Those are all the stuff you see coming out of Fab Lab. That's all student driven work, and so it's really incredible stuff that comes out of there.
Oh wow, I didn't like. This is an advertisement for me because I didn't know all these
Right.
things, and just hearing all of them, it just
Yeah.
it's amazing, and I'm glad that we can find a way to get this out
Sure.
to more people, because I know a lot of people would love this and probably don't even know about it.
Right. Yeah. And it's we were talking earlier about the biggest perception is that it's just for this community, but it's for everyone. It's not a class; it's a workshop, and you can come in. I'm there early in the morning. I'm there after school, and you can come during class as long as it's okay with your teacher. And I'm there to help you do whatever. So it's a pretty cool thing to have at a high school. You can kind of come in and do whatever you want to do.
So where can we find you? What's the room number?
Fab Lab's in the back, and it's the CTE area, and I'm at 1119.
1119.
1119.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, now you know where to find them.
Yeah, come by and see.
And so, closing out, I know that I've heard that you're a musician.
Oh yeah.
So I want you to do a little self-promotion, what's the deal with that?
Well, my first job besides this here is I'm a musician. I've been a musician since I was 17, professionally. I play Texas fiddle music. That's what I specialize in, and I incorporate a lot of our Gulf Coast stuff like Tejano and Cajun music, country music, that kind of stuff. And I was just nominated for 5 nominations for the Texas Country Music Awards.
Oh, man.
And so we do quite well. I have a new album coming out in March, and we're doing Mardi Gras this year at the main stage over there. So,
So this
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah,
That
so
is- oh
yeah.
man, I need to check some of that stuff. I didn't know, because I like that. I like mostly country, and when it comes to the alternatives, I just
Yeah.
love.
well, we
any
have
type
a
of music.
unique, like with our food here on the coast, Gulf Coast. We have really good, the best food. So we have we have Mexican food, and we have Cajun food, and we have barbecue, and we got everything going on. And the same thing with our music too. We have, I take all those kind of elements and I kind of put them all together, and that's what I call the Gulf Coast sound. That's my thing. So that's what I like to promote it as.
That's incredibly, as Galveston makes, unique.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you so much
Oh,
for
thank you,
being
sir.
on
I
here.
appreciate it.
Recently, Isaiah sat down with Calvin Brown and they talked about the behind the scenes of the film Footsteps.
My guest is the one and only Downtown Calvin Brown.
That's me.
Yes, it
How you
is.
doing, man?
I'm doing perfect. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well.
That
Pretty
is
well.
good. And I know you're doing pretty well, because I know how happy you were to get this UIL project done.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh man, like you were working on it forever. So I mean,
Blood, sweat, tears.
how
down
was
the drain.
that? How was that? Like, what was your inspiration? Just tell me, the whole spiel.
Okay, so The story of the movie is a lifeguard who lets a girl die on his watch, and the girl comes back as a ghost, and he has to deal with both that and the guilt of letting somebody die on his watch. And I guess the big inspiration was, it really just started with, me, Cooper, and a couple other friends throwing around ideas because we wanted to do a UIL film. And we eventually ended up on that one. And in terms of like inspiration from like movies and stuff, I watched a couple movies like Whiplash, where the characters go slowly insane, to get some inspiration from that. But besides that, that's about it.
Wow, I mean, I've seen the final product, what you've made, and I think it looks great. And,
Thank you.
And I know there's a bunch of hurdles that you have to overcome. So what was your biggest hurdle?
You'd think with the movie process being so intricate with cameras and storyboards and lighting and all this stuff, that'd be something like that, something technical. But it's really just getting all the people in the same place at the same time, especially since this isn't a paid project, it's a volunteer thing. That was probably the most difficult hurdle. And there were a couple times there where just the right person that we needed that day did not show up, and we just had to cancel filming, where I was like, we're not going to get this done. Oh my God, but obviously it all turned out okay in the end, so.
I'm glad that you finally got this done. And so what was the easiest thing that you didn't even think of doing?
Surprisingly, it was just actually making the story and like putting it all together in my head. Like once relaying it out past that was really hard, but actually just making the story the way I wanted it was surprisingly easy. But I think it's because I thought about it for a long time before I actually wrote it down, I had a long time to think about it, because we thought about the idea around this time last year, but we didn't write it till like the beginning of the school year.
Oh, okay, I see. So Calvin wrote the story, he directed too, he made sure everybody was there, which sometimes they weren't. But yeah, and I can't wait to see the new projects that you have coming up, which segues into my next topic. What is your future projects?
Me and the cinematographer for the last project, Malu, have been throwing around a couple ideas for another short film to do. So right now you just have to wait and stay tuned.
Oh man, okay. Well, I can't wait for all of that, and all the projects that you make and all the projects he makes are, you can tell he puts his heart and soul into it, and I know how much you like doing this, and I appreciate someone who actually cares about their work. Unlike, some of the, even big Hollywood stuff who they just want the money. But I like your work.
Thank you. Thank you.
The Rosenberg Library has an interesting and young adult program. Isaiah recently sat down with its leader, Dustin Archer. Here's that conversation.
And my guest today is?
Dustin Archer.
Oh, nice to meet you. And
nice to meet you.
What do you do?
I'm the young adult librarian over at the Rosenberg Library, up on, by Broadway on 25th in that area. I've been the teen librarian there for about a year and a half now.
So teen librarian. So, I'm guessing it's not just books, and you have a lot more stuff that you like to do.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not just books. We've got all kinds of resources there, whether it's ebooks, audiobooks. We have a 3D printer that people can use. We've got green screen stuff that, you can set up and you can use as well. But we also do a lot of teen programs. That's one of the main things that I've focused a lot on, to try and encourage people to use the library, to come in, to have fun, make new friends. Every Monday night we do Dungeons and Dragons, which has been really popular. We started that this last summer during our summer reading program. And we get about 15, 16 people every single Monday night for that.
I like that. So
yeah.
It's just changing the way people view the word library, like not just books, but like all this stuff that they can work with. And
yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a community hub. It's the place to go, when you need to work on a project with friends, or where you just want to meet some new people. Play board games. We do video games up on our big screen in the Wortham Auditorium as well. We'll play Mario Kart and Smash Bros. In there. So, yeah, it's fun.
I like that. I definitely like those. So, what type of programs do you have for the teens looking to join?
Yep. Besides Dungeons and Dragons, we do that every Monday from 4:30 to 7:30, unless it's a holiday or something like that. We also do programs almost every Friday from 4:30 to 5:30 because we close at 6. We have volunteer opportunities with that, where we have a young adult library leaders meeting where they can earn National Honor Society, volunteer hours, or for other projects if you need them for school. And that's how you have a say in the library. You know, how we run things, policies, if you have issues with staff, if there's just things that you want to talk about, that's one of those great groups for that. We have our teen gaming, which I was mentioning, once a month, usually the second Friday each month. But we also do board games at that as well. Board games you may not be used to. You probably heard of like things like Settlers of Catan, Ticket to Ride, but we also play Exploding Kittens. We play all kinds of different games, so those are fun. Super Fight as well. Occasionally we'll do kind of a stand-in program, something that'll be different each month. We're doing an anime club this month, where we'll stream some Crunchyroll, eat Pocky, you know, make some buttons, things like that. And we also do a teen book club every month, where basically we get together, we all read the same book, we discuss it, and then you get to keep the book afterwards as well. So it's a free hardcover book, which is kind of nice.
That is very nice.
Yeah.
So basically, this is for everyone. This is for a lot of people who, you know, different backgrounds, different interests. They can all just meet up together. And
absolutely.
Absolutely.
And
it's amazing.
The other thing is it's ages 13 to 18. It's not open to everybody. We don't let adults come in. We don't let kids come in. You know, kids have a lot of programs at the library. They always have. That's been historically true. And teens haven't really had that, you know. And a lot of the complaints that I've heard in the past has been, you know, where were you supposed to go to hang out? What are we supposed to do? How are we supposed to go have fun that isn't causing trouble, or that isn't, you know, at Boys and Girls Club, that isn't somewhere that they don't really feel like going? And that's what the library is there to provide. One of the other big programs we got coming up that I wanted to make sure to plug was the anti-Valentine's Day party. So if you're not really romantic, you're not really into that sort of thing, you want to make black duct tape roses and listen to, you know, some angsty music, that'll be a good time. And that's next month, Wednesday, February 6th. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you don't like Valentine's Day, I know a lot of people who don't.
Yeah.
This is the perfect place for them. I've never seen that.
Yeah. We did it last year. It was pretty fun.
What were your past experiences with all these different programs?
You know, it's been a great time. I get to watch teens make new friendships. For instance, starting with the D&D stuff, Dungeons and Dragons stuff we did this summer, there's been just tons of new friendships that have formed. I've seen them, you know, just meet new people. They start talking all the time. You know, they're on Discord all the time, chatting with each other. And they meet up every Monday, and they get to, you know, step into a new role and act out a character in a fantasy sort of setting, which has been a blast. Also, we did, you know, the Harry Potter Yule Ball this in December, where people got to, you know, enjoy the world of Harry Potter a little bit. And I've done similar programs like that in the past. I've been a librarian for about 5 years now, the entire time as a teen librarian. And it's just a blast watching people, you know, learn new things, but also just have, you know, a lot of fun doing it. So
that's amazing. I've never seen such a expansive spectrum of things that, you know, teens can do. Like that's actually a first that I've ever heard.
And it wasn't huge before I came on at the Rosenberg Library. It wasn't something that the previous teen librarians were focusing much on, and they didn't get the word out very much. So that's part of why I'm here today too, is just trying to let everybody know that, you know, we've got all this cool stuff over there. Come over, take a look. And if you like manga, like we've got tons of manga, tons of graphic novels. I know we're going back to the print book sort of thing, but we have a collection of about 1,500 volumes of manga, one of the biggest collections around. So if you like that stuff, come check it out.
Well, are there any other programs that you think people might like?
Those are the main things coming up right now. You know, we've got our volunteer opportunities with the Y'all meetings, D&D, teen gaming, anime club, book clubs, the anti-Valentine's Day party, you know, on Wednesday, February 6th from 4:30 to 6. Those are the main things, you know, going on right now. Of course, when summer comes around, which is a ways off, we've got our summer reading program. We give away all kinds of prizes over the summer, from new books to Loot Crate gear. If you guys know Loot Crate, we give away that stuff over the summer. So we have a subscription to them. So yeah, we try to stay pretty busy and have a lot of fun over there.
Well, that's all. It just keeps getting better. So basically, it's become a tradition at this point. I've heard you've had a podcast, you know, a little personal project.
Yeah. So I play a card game, Game of Thrones, LCG 2.0 competitively. I travel all over the U.S. and I'm traveling to London actually this year to play as well. And this last year I was the U.S. national champion. Ooh. So that was, yeah.
Okay,
okay. Yeah, for a really nerdy hobby, but I love being a nerd. But I do a podcast with some friends of mine that live up in New York. We're called the Storm Bros. And we record about once a week, once every couple of weeks, talk about the game, interview some of the major players in the game. But really, it's so specific. I wouldn't begrudge anyone not checking it out unless they're into the scene. So,
well, that's amazing. You have a lot of things that you're doing, and it's amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Oh man.
Tor Nation Productions is pleased to announce the debut of our second radio station, Tor 2. We play whatever we want. The station is on Live 365 platform at live365.com. When at Live 365, search K-Tor. It's an interesting mix of great music from yesterday and today. We're excited to be one of the only high schools with 2 radio stations, and there's more to come, so stay tuned. Now let's find out the identity of this episode's mystery senior.
No, get this
Okay, you got it. Now put it on. Stick your head in there.
Tor Nation Productions is pleased to premiere a film by Calvin Brown titled Footsteps.
Oh, hey, how you doing? What's up, bro? How you been? Pretty good. Just working. Just working. Yeah. Hey, are you going over to Rachel's later? I don't know. There's gonna be a lot of people there. I heard it was gonna be pretty loud. Yeah. Yeah. I'll probably go then. All right, for real. Yeah, that's a bit. I'll let you know. Yeah.
Hey, I'm just calling to check in on you.
An unfortunate accident at the beach yesterday leaves one girl missing, presumed dead.
It could happen to anyone. It's really not your fault. You're a good guy, you know. You just, like, made a...
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Do you want me to die? I'll kill myself right now.
I forgive you. Now forgive yourself.
Thank you for watching this episode of Tor Report. I'm Rachel Dillon, and I'll see you soon.